Right.
Back.
Alrighty. Everybody doing okay? Everybody still alive?
Still alive. A little confused. But still alive.
It's a different kind of turn we had here, huh?
I don't know if you saw my Discord message.
I usually don't check Discord during the things.
That's why I said it.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. It just seemed like yeah, okay.
5 sessions later, we'll
Yeah.
still be here.
Did we ever leave the cave?
Nope, this is just where we live now.
Yeah.
The base of operations.
All right. So, you guys were setting up camp. Was somebody asking a question that I hadn't answered yet? Somebody asked about the dragon. I gave the name. Says something like his scales were beautiful or something. I think you guys are going to set up camp, and I mean, now you got this Melora, I guess, but she's mind wiped. And you got this primordial memory god just chilling and hanging out.
As they do.
Yeah. So
you had just revealed the whole who wiped, I forget his name's memories.
Melora.
No, not Melora. The
Lapel.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so he was saying that who do you think wiped Lapel's memories? Yeah, was there something else you were asking about the memories that I didn't get a chance to answer there? I can't remember. Oh well. We pick up now. What's going on? What are you guys doing?
I guess Odayn's gonna go to a suitable place, maybe here, to cast Tiny Hut.
All right. Can I get rid of all these squares now? I'm gonna get rid of all these squares.
It's all still difficult terrain, but yes, we don't need to keep track of it.
Yeah.
I'll move that.
I mean, unless you guys like decide to murder the Aboleth who helped you here, kind of.
I don't think so. That's the plan.
I
was
you
gonna
never
say
know
that
with you
I'm
guys.
sending... Oh, my internet just lagged.
Okay. So yeah, you guys chilling out.
While we're making the hut and whatnot, I would like to send the wildfire spirit off to explore the rest of this part of the cave.
Okay. You can do that.
And then just relay the information to me telepathically.
You can see through its eyes, right? On the game.
I can't see through its eyes, but it can communicate. So it'll
all right.
probably boil down
There's
to the same thing.
Tons of treasure in the water. Here,
I was gonna say once I finish with the tiny hut, I was gonna go explore the water to see if there's anything that's useful that might help us.
Yeah. Here, let me set up. You guys can move around freely as if you're exploring the cave. Vash, you can move your regular token as if you're flying the bird if you want to see. You can move around anywhere. You're not limited. Free room. Do whatever you like.
Cool.
Green monster bird starts looting.
I'm gonna, yeah. There's lots of gold, like just tons, all along the bottom of the like pond lake, where the body is. There's gonna be a treasure hoard here, so what we're gonna do is have you guys roll. That'll be if you guys want to take care of loot now, we can do that.
Okay.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Oh, let's do this one by the book because it's been a while since we've gotten a hoard, a proper full hoard for you guys. So I just want to make sure we do this one right.
If I get a second mirror, I can point them at each other and see what happens.
You can always have like Ishu inspect the mirror. Maybe he'll have something. He is
You guys,
Orilyn. He's not the smartest. He's sort of like innately magical, but
who?
Yeah, Orilyn could have a look.
Ishu or Orilyn and some magic users in the
Oh.
party. Vash might be able to help a little bit. Anybody who can sense like who's talented with magic, I suppose.
If I see
How
if
about-
the spirit
what
tells me
they,
there's a bunch of treasure, I would cast detect magic.
Are you casting it? Were you casting it like to detect magic in the area?
So it's it centers on me, and I think it lasts a minute or 10 minutes. Let me look. Up to 10 minutes
10 minutes.
concentration, and I can cast it as a ritual.
Virtual.
Yeah. So you sense magic, like just all throughout the bottom of the pond.
Oh God!
As well as like any, like there's probably a few magic items in there. Is what I'm saying. We'll find out exactly how many when we roll loot here in a second. But,
Okay.
you know, also the magical stuff on your friends,
All right.
Orlin's, orb.
Any magical items on Melora or the thing?
She's not carrying any magical items. She doesn't have any weapons. She wears like a robe.
It's kind of what I figured.
How about the bodies?
She
that we
does. She
destroyed?
does need to do a thing. Actually, now that I think about it, so maybe while you
Probably
got,
need to use the loo after months.
no, she's got to. She's got
Isn't that what the water was that was dripping from her?
part of
Everybody poops, even gods.
part of the. I mean, it's just
During all that time?
it's just always she's always dripping water. Like that's just the way it is. She's always like, no matter where she goes.
She's peeing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, you know, it's her hair is always wet. Like she's, you know, she's a water lady.
Right.
At her age, bladder control issues are normal.
Yeah. Let me roll a d4 here. Okay.
Roll.
So for the next 3 hours, she is going to be. She's compelled to like sit at the water's edge, and she's like singing to herself, while she's like waving her hands over the water. And she has to make a check. Okay, she passes. All right. So, I mean, it takes 3 hours, so I'm guessing it would be after your detect magic, but I was going to say you might detect some magic stuff coming from her.
Would be after, yeah.
Action faint aura around invisible creatures. Yeah, I mean, you detect magic around like your allies. You know, however the spell works, you detect innate magical auras around people. You do detect one around her too. I guess she is sort of magical.
That was basically just to help once we have the loot to sift through what's magical and what's not.
Okay, yeah. All right. Fair
And
enough.
then we can figure out what the magic is later.
Fair enough. Let's do treasure hoard, I suppose. Who wants to roll?
Not me.
I'll roll.
All right.
I've been rolling
You
really
roll
bad.
terrible.
So somebody roll me a D100.
Do-do-do.
76.
It's not
Okay.
bad.
Now
And I
roll
use my inspiration. No.
roll me 2d4.
Ooh.
Alright, you take that one, Elduin.
Alright.
That's monk rolls.
Yeah.
That's gonna be 2 nat ones.
Alright,
Okay. It was above. It was about average.
it was just above average.
Mhm. It's really good.
Okay. Now roll me a d10 5 times.
Okay. I'll take one of
Um,
those, or 2 of those.
We should just
Roll
say that
one.
Ishu's rolling those, because then it's only going to be 9s and
you go.
10s.
You find these 2 copper chalices that have like silver filigree on them. They're worth 25 gold each.
Why not?
I need 3 more d10s.
Or all of them?
Are we pooling loot, or are we all gonna go?
Somebody writes this stuff down because this is all going to be in the same pile.
So the chalices were worth 25 gold each.
Yes.
Oh, I rolled
8, 10, and a 3.
D100.
pretty well.
So you find a small mirror set in a painted wooden frame. That's worth 20.
Yes. Yes.
It's not magical, unfortunately. This one
I don't
is.
care. He's
yeah.
looting the mirror
Oh, sorry,
immediately.
small mirror set in a what?
It's a small
Painted
mirror
wooden
set in a
frame.
painted wooden frame. It kind of looked. I guess the other one was pretty similar. But this one's worth 25 gold. It's just a normal mirror.
So's the other one,
10.
as far as we know.
Find a gold locket with a painted portrait inside. It's probably like the portrait's probably like lost to time, but the gold locket itself is worth 25 gold. And a
Alright.
3, you find a small gold bracelet worth 25 gold. Okay. So that's all that stuff. Okay, now there's only, it was a 76 on the D100, right? Yeah. So there's only one magic item roll on this.
Oh, come on.
That's what you rolled, man. On the treasure hoard. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Okay. So let me find the correct table. Okay. Somebody roll me a D100 for the for the
Sure, got this.
Inspiration.
I'll roll great.
Okay.
73.
I mean, that was not bad.
Everyone keeps beating you to it.
All right.
That was not bad.
You find a bottle. Unfortunately.
God.
Another ball.
It is here, let me find out the description of this item.
Do we get to do literal smoke and mirrors, or?
Let me see here. Oh, that's not bad, actually. All right, so it's a big glass vial with a cork in the top. Inside is a fairly transparent, like gray liquid. It doesn't fill all the way up to the top. It's about 2/3 full. The rest of the bottle is full with what appears to be like a haze or a smoke. But it is magical. Vash is bad. All right, man. I'll tell you what, because I was thinking about doing this anyways. Let me see here. I'm gonna give you guys some bonus loot. Oh, at least a bonus
I'll
chance.
get the second cursed mirror I wanted.
Yes. Somebody roll me a 1d4. Oh.
One.
Okay. Well, all right. That's not great. You wanted 4 for extra rolls. All right. So you get 1 roll on one table and 1 roll on another table here. So let me find the tables again. Okay.
I'm not rolling anything anymore.
Roll me a D100, somebody. 16.
Oh no!
That's 77.
Uh, you find a
Vash
very.
rolled a 77.
Oh, okay. All
I
right.
rolled the 16 first.
I don't know if
Oh.
higher is better or not, really, to be honest. So
Well, I'll look at the 2 items and decide which one to give you. How about that?
That's weird. 'cause-
Ooh,
yeah.
I think Vash's roll might be better, so I'm gonna give you that one. So you find these. Here, let me get the description of these things. These are a very unique item, I think. I've seen somebody else get them. These things before. So they're like a set of glasses or like these crystal lenses that you can fit over the eyes.
Oh.
And they probably like fasten. Like they probably don't just like hang over your ears like a normal pair of spectacles, but there's probably like a strap to where they tie onto your head. But just like looking through the like just holding them in your hand and looking through the glass, it seems like you can see better through the glass on the other side.
I know. I
They're
bet I know
magical.
what those are.
Yeah, pretty iconic item. Okay, so the other item table, roll a D100, somebody.
Someone else roll at the same time so we get choices.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, you did.
Oh,
Okay.
perfect. That's
All
great.
right.
Nice.
Let's see. We got
Oh,
okay, or I mean, neither is great. So, I mean, they're kind of the same. I feel so. Why don't you guys pick one? I'll just tell you what you get.
Whichever one is not single use.
I actually don't know if either are single use. Let me see.
The single-use
Then-
one is
Then
Ring of
whichever.
Wishes with only one wish, and we'll take that one.
Let's see.
I wish
I'd be
Timothy
okay
was
with
back.
this.
Now play 2 characters.
Yeah, these are
ah.
that one's not single use. The other one was a
Staff of the Magi. Okay, we'll take that.
yeah, it wasn't that, unfortunately.
Staff of
Oh.
Lightning and Thunder, sure.
Oh wow.
On a bag
Okay.
of holding.
Fireballs.
That.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
no, that's a 1.
I'm gonna give you the one I think you should get.
Okay.
It's a staff, and it's wood, but the like top 2/3 of it are like inlaid gold. That's kind of like poured over it like a melting candle. Have you ever seen people who burn like these giant candles and they just leave the melted wax as like art?
Mhm.
That's kind of how the gold has been poured over the staff. So like the part that touches the ground is still wood, but like the top 2/3 of it are like melted gold with several like different colored gems in it. A large purple gem at the top. As you move further down the staff, they kind of turn to a greenish color and become smaller and more fine. Yeah, it's magic. And
No, that's fine. You don't have to tell us too much.
I'm just gonna. I think I'll leave it there. Yeah. So okay, I'm gonna write these down somewhere.
Elduin wants to hit people with that. Then again, he wants all of it. Anything that's shiny.
Backbird.
Okay, so we got the staff, right?
A staff, set of crystal lenses,
Crystal lenses,
and then some various
25
finery.
gold. Yeah.
a bottle, right?
Oh yeah, the bottle.
Oh yeah, and the bottle. Yeah.
So we got a
I
staff.
didn't write
I'll
that one
post
down.
I'll post the list in the general chat for Discord.
I'm just writing down what you guys got so that I don't forget when it comes time to tell you what you guys got. Like once you figure out what they do.
Yeah.
It was the staff and the eye things and the bottle. I just felt like the bottle by itself would have felt like a total ripoff. Okay. So I wanted to give you guys proper loot. There's also like some gold and stuff too, right?
Oh yeah.
Pretty sure.
There's like 100 gold.
I mean, swimming down next to the corpse of a giant hero dragon, that couldn't possibly be bad.
Oh, how bad do I want bones from a dragon?
You said there were scales, right? Are there scales down there?
No. The Aboleth was saying his scales were beautiful, like when he was alive. Okay, so coins. All right. Wow. Okay. Somebody roll me 2d6. You find 600 copper coins. Somebody roll another 2d6.
Big rolls.
6,000 silver pieces.
6,000, jeez.
Roll me 66.
Ooh, who's gonna roll that?
1,800 gold. Yeah, this is a lot of
Alright,
stuff.
I'll take all of that, don't worry.
We're not
No,
done. Roll me 3d6. 90 platinum. Now,
Did we really roll exact average on all of them?
Except for Odayn. Odayn actually got a good roll for once.
All right. So you got that written down. Now keep in mind that's a lot. It's a lot of gold and a lot of stuff. You're gonna have a problem getting all that out of here.
What was it? 90 platinum?
Yeah, it was like 90 platinum. It was 1,800 gold, right? Is that what it was?
I think
Mhm.
Orilyn got all the rest. I just wasn't sure on the platinum.
It
Platinum.
was like 16. It was like 600 copper or something crazy. It was
Yeah.
like several thousand. It was like 6,000 silver. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's gonna,
We're dividing this up, goddammit.
you can't. I think even dividing it up, you guys couldn't carry it all. I don't
Oh,
think.
watch me. I have tricks.
I mean, if you got a bag of holding,
Thing.
We got an aboleth with us.
what is the
It probably goes slower than we would dragging this.
Let's make a cart.
let me see here.
I look at this pile of money, and I look over at where Timothy's body is lying, and just start thinking about how much money we could try to stuff inside of the body.
Weight is still a thing. I don't think that works the way you think it does.
Yeah, but it solves the problem of containers. Makes it easier to drag along, and it'll float a little bit better.
Maybe one of you guys can tell me. I'm having a hard time finding an answer.
Okay.
Do figurines of wondrous power require attunement?
Generally, but it will say in the thing if it requires attunement.
I think. No.
So if it doesn't say that, then no. I can open my GM book if you want.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at the item.
No.
Some
don't
of them
think
do, some
so.
of them don't.
Oh, some of them do.
Certain ones say it.
All right. I don't see it on this
Okay.
one, so I'm just curious.
Oh,
All right.
Then it does
oh,
not.
Cool. Well, Ishu picked up this little statue a while back in one of the hallways where you guys
Oh,
were
that's true.
looting stuff.
Mm.
And
Issue.
Yeah.
I guess I sense its magical nature.
yeah, you sense it on him for sure. Kind of reminds you of the. It's got a similar magic to the tiles.
I don't remember. Was it evocation? I guess.
I think so.
Talisman of the Tarrasque or something.
I'm not very great with my magic schools.
What were the schools of magic for the other magical items?
Let's see. It would probably be on the description, right? The item
Hmm.
description. Maybe not.
It's all right. We're gonna sit with them and figure out what they are in a minute anyway, so I don't really need to know.
I think most of them are going to be evocation. Nothing is necromancy. I'll tell you that. I'm pretty sure nothing is necromancy.
Is it clear from what Vash is doing that he's examining magical items?
Mhm.
Alright, I'll pull out my mirror and then point at it and then kind of hand it to him but hold on to it still.
What
Like, look at this but don't
school of
take it.
magic does that display? That one I actually do want to know.
Let me see which makes the most sense here. I gotta actually look through them. Doesn't do
It's totally
that.
gonna be some creepy necromancy stuff.
Or something that traps your
there's
soul.
abjuration, divination, conjuration, evocation,
I'm fully expecting one of us to get sucked into this mirror.
enchantment, illusion, necromancy.
Yeah,
And
I just don't know like the details of all of them. You know, like never learned my magic schools, so I'm looking at what they each do. I mean,
That's
necromancy is
cool.
kind of obvious, but blocking and shielding.
So cool. Yeah. If you go to the wizard,
Transmutation, divination, reveal your okay, enchantments. Okay, I think the mirror. I think the mirror actually does. Is necromancy. Yeah, I think it actually would be. As far as like what I'm
Does
seeing.
Vash tell me
okay.
that?
You're still holding on to it?
Yeah, I'm still holding on to it. I don't let you have it.
Just keep in mind, like resurrection is also necromancy. So is like cure wounds, I think, or one of those.
Right. All healing spells are necromantic.
Okay.
Well,
That
generally.
doesn't mean that it's not. It doesn't make it more suspicious.
Cure wounds is evocation.
Oh well, there's some healing spell that's necromancy. I can't remember what it is, but I think there is.
What?
Most of the ones that bring you back from the dead, I think.
The
It's got some dark.
The objects I think are all like evocation. I think.
It's got some dark magic in it. Where'd you find that?
I kind of look left to right. Nowhere. And then put it back in my bag.
Be careful with it. Also, once you take a short rest with that, you should figure out what it does. Unless
Yeah,
it's cursed in some way.
I mean, I'll try to figure out what it does. I'm not sure I want to. If it takes attunement, I'm not sure I want to attune to this.
I'm going to
Especially knowing that.
figure out what the staff does.
It doesn't require attunement.
The mirror.
Are we short resting right now?
Yeah, the mirror.
Oh, okay.
Oh no,
I
are
don't know.
you guys short resting? The I'm looking to see if the staff requires attunement.
I want to continue talking to the Saphleth badly.
Oh, Orilyn was gonna do that while you guys were doing the loot stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk. We can talk to it while we're short resting.
Yeah, this is why I sent the wildfire spear out to scout.
But who got all the loot from the water?
I don't know. I assume Odayn. since
I
he's the
could.
swimmer.
It probably
Yeah.
would take some time to hunt down all those coins and pull them
Oh,
out of
yeah.
the water and
I was out in the middle of the water, so.
find the items that are like buried beneath it or between the dragon's bones and stuff.
Especially since all of it's super difficult terrain.
Yeah, it'd probably take a while. I think we'll say that by the time you guys have fished all the coin out, it's probably been a couple hours. So if you guys were wanting to take a long rest, you could be partway into it. Maybe, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of strenuous. Strenuous activity would be swimming and plundering treasure.
Short rest if not possible, but long rest if possible.
I think a short rest would definitely. Yeah, I don't know. Is that how it works? I don't know.
No, I'm saying that's my preference.
Short rest not possible. Long rest is possible.
No,
No,
long rest
possible.
if possible. If not, short rest.
Oh, okay. I mean, what do you guys?
I'd agree with that.
You can take a long rest here if you want.
Vash is
Before
not
we-
swimming.
Before we do the long rest, Seraphina will cast Find Steed so she could help with the loot.
Well, if Vash wasn't swimming, then Elduin would try to get the staff.
I
The
do
staff
have
and
the
the
wild
mirror
fire
would be the
spirit,
two things you were after.
and you had to bring everything to me to tell what was magical.
That is true.
What the?
How
Me-
long does Find
Is that an
Steed
owl?
Yeah, let me
Yeah.
get the right. I don't know why it's the wrong. It's the wrong token. So let me just go get the right token. I'll be right back.
I want to
Okay.
see Seraphina ride an owl.
How long does that take to cast?
10 minutes.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it'd be funny if it took an hour just to have Orilyn and Fee summoning both their critters.
There we go.
Only her critter is very big.
Yeah.
Let me make
Still an owl.
sure. You should have control over it. Can you move it around and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you actually have an owl?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the mount. His like summon steed or whatever.
It's not just any owl though. It's like a skeleton owl, right?
Yeah. It's a skeletal giant owl. It's pretty eerie to look at.
That's very interesting, Seraphina.
Its bones creak when it moves. Yeah, it's pretty. The thing like radiates death,
Creepiness.
the inevitableness of death.
Oh, jeez.
Is that the chant that Fee
Yeah,
has
that's the
to
chant.
say to summon it?
Yeah.
All right.
Vash hates you all.
So
We have a name for it now.
God.
a couple hours go by of you guys like looting and summoning your owls.
You want to talk?
And after 3 or so hours, the like chanting and stuff Melora was doing at the water's edge, she reaches into the or I guess she more reaches onto the surface of the water and plucks from it like a sheet of water. I mean, it's ripples like water. She holds it up, but it moves like a fabric. And she sort of instinctively like places the sheet over her like shoulders and neck where it quickly fades. And just to make sure,
Blanket.
I just want to make sure she does take some damage like before she gets there. So let me roll. Oh shit! Really?
Is she downed? She's downed,
She-
isn't she?
She
Yeah,
took that
she-
damage.
She
Wow.
she doesn't make it. So like, here's what happens. She doesn't get to pull the shawl out of the water. So like about 3 hours in, she's at the edge of the water and she's doing this, and she gets to about the beginning of the 3rd hour, and she like grasps at her torso and she begins like coughing and having trouble breathing, and then she collapses, and the aboleth, Lexoriga Saggath or whatever his name is, he says,
Quick, she needs healing now. She's not long for this world.
What the hell happened to her?
So while everybody was looting, because Orilyn doesn't actually care about that, she would have wanted to talk to the aboleth.
I did too.
If
Yeah.
Melora was sitting there, then she would have sat next to Melora while talking to the aboleth. So she'll just immediately reach over and do cure wounds on her.
all right.
And this was how many hours after?
It's like the start of the 3rd
3.
hour, so 2 full
Okay,
hours.
so I
in.
have
Your
all my
spells
warlock
back.
spells back
Mhm.
then.
Okay, so she gets 19.
Yeah.
All right. Now I think she has to start the process over again. Let me make sure.
Probably should heal her some more.
Yeah, she's gonna try again here. Let's see how long
Wait,
it's gonna
wait.
take.
Before she does what she's gonna do, Orlin's gonna do it again.
Okay.
I also wanted to talk to her when she's
So-
awake again.
She
That's
can't.
the second time.
Oh dang. Okay. Okay. She can't really talk while she's doing this. She's sort of like chanting to herself, and she doesn't really seem to know fully what she's doing. It seems to be kind of an instinctual or almost like an OCD thing. You know.
Forgotten
like-
one. What the hell's wrong with her?
Who are you asking?
The Forgotten One.
Oh.
The Aboleth.
Okay, hang on.
I picked on that Odayn was calling him the Forgotten One.
She's pulling together her form, trying to hold her vessel stable. It will take her some time to accomplish this, but it must be done if she is to survive.
After that healing, how wounded does she, or how weak does she look like? She could be healed for a lot more.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll use my last spell slot for until I get another short rest in to do this at level 1.
All right.
That's all the healing that Orilyn can offer her until she gets another hour rest.
All right. Let's-
Vash will probably also approach and begin to throw out some cure wounds.
Okay.
Once I summon the bird back, if it's been 3 hours.
It's
So-
been like we're going into the 3rd hour here.
Okay, so first one,
Okay.
and then this
She-
one,
She's now not bloodied.
and then this one.
16. And then plus 17, 23. I mean,
And she just keeps looking like she could take more and more.
she can still take more, yeah. I mean, she's
hell
almost
is wrong with you?
back to like peak physical condition, but she could still take a little bit more. All right.
Okay.
And what was it that he said she's trying to do? What?
She's trying to do. I think I said she's trying to do something to like hold together her form, like her vessel.
Oh, because
To keep herself alive.
She's leaky.
Yeah.
Did you wait,
something
Vash?
like
Did you
that.
roll the extra D8?
I just clicked to cast at higher levels.
That's the
Does
end.
I
your
assume
enhan-
I assume it did it right.
Yeah, it
Doesn't
looks like
your enhanced bond give you an extra D8 when you restore hit points?
Yeah, that's the top part of each of those. The top
Yep.
Oh,
square.
okay.
all right.
Okay.
How many hours is it going to take her this time? 4 hours. All right. It will take her 4 hours this time.
Oh,
Okay, but
Can I?
during that time, can we talk to the abbot?
Yeah. I just want to see if she's gonna like actually accomplish it this time. She does still have
No
to
more
like
time skips.
she does still have to pass a wisdom save, which she does barely. And then over the 4 hours she's gonna take damage, so per
mean, if it
hour.
look-
She
It
takes
looks like she's getting hurt every hour.
yeah, that's what happens, yeah.
Wouldn't-
Until
wouldn't
she
we
completes
notice
it.
that?
Until she completes it. You would notice it probably. Yeah, she probably winces in pain a little bit every so often as she can't complete this thing that she's
Okay.
this weird ritual she's trying to do. Okay, so that's how much she takes over the course of 4 hours.
She's good this time.
Yeah.
I guess. I'm assuming we're just going to do long rest after this, right? It took me at least 3 hours to pick
Gather
up all the loot, and then we have 4 hours in to a rest.
Yeah.
I can heal her with the rest of my spell slots, I guess.
I mean, if you want to, you don't have to. She's not below half now or anything.
I think Odayn would want to heal her as much as he can.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And she's no longer responding to me mentally, right? She's trying to do this.
She's occupied, yeah.
Okay.
So here's the first one.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Well,
So that's 20. I don't know why it's rolling Hexblade's Curse with it.
Oh, it's not the extra 3. All right.
No.
Okay.
So that's my 3rd level spell slot. How much more can she take?
Not a whole lot more. She's almost topped off. She's
Okay, I'll
about
do-
like 93%.
Then I'll just do a 1st level spell slot.
Okay.
9.
I mean, she's just barely not at max. She's just like just about there, but
Probably-
not quite.
All right, then
Alright.
I'll just do another one. Might as well.
All right, she's definitely there now.
And then an hour ticks over and she drops again. No.
Yeah. All right. So over the next 4 hours, while she's mumbling to herself and like singing and like playing with the water, what are you guys doing during that time? During those 4 hours, talking to the aboleth. You wanted to do that. What do you guys want to talk to him about?
And if we've already passed our short rest? Would we learn about these magic items?
Yes. Let's talk about these magic items here.
By the way, during short rest, I would have been meditating so I could get my key back.
Right.
Okay. Now, this first one does require attunement. Yeah, it does require attunement. I guess you attune to it during that time, right? It's a staff.
You have to attune to them to learn what they are. Yeah.
But just attuning to them doesn't just tell you what they are, does it?
Yeah,
It
that's
does.
part of as you spend the time to examine it. And
All right.
I can't remember how they describe it, but
The staff is a staff of swarming insects. It requires attunement by bard, cleric, druid, sorcerer, warlock, or wizard. If you're not one of those classes, you cannot attune to it.
And
So
can I
Vash.
figure out what my mirror does?
The mirror does not require attunement.
you can still
Okay.
learn what something is if you take the time to sit with it.
Yeah. You want to use it again?
That's a loaded
I mean, you know, Melora looked at it and didn't die, so sure.
All right.
We'll risk it.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
I'm gonna use inspiration on this. I feel like that's a good use of it.
Smart plan.
Probably a really good idea.
Oh
Roche.
no.
Wait, what'd you get? Oh my god.
Oh no.
So who's your new character gonna be?
Well, I have a Warforged Druid rolled up right now. That had some cool things going on there.
We will straight up go Highlander here. There can only be one.
You should just do strong arm.
Ooh. Yeah, I just have to down level
That'd be
up.
interesting.
All right. So you look into the mirror.
If he dies, I can't save him right now.
Do you remember what we described last time was like the like past life kind of aspects of it? Like you came out of it, like you saw your sort of like got a glimpse at your past soul. This time you look into the mirror and I think you just see a black void. And like before your brain can process what you're looking at, your mind turns off, and everything goes to black. And you guys, like as you guys are sitting around talking or whatever, Elduin somewhere around you guys pulls out the spear and looks at it, and then collapses to the ground.
God damn it!
I think I know what it does.
I will curse under my breath and walk over to his form.
Ooh, did I learn what the mirror does?
You're,
Vash,
Does
leave him
he
alone.
appear to
He's
be
just
breathing?
sleeping.
you're unconscious for 2 hours.
Okay, so he's breathing.
Oh, I thought I was just dead.
No, you're not dead.
Okay. I will shake my head, grab the mirror out of his hand, and put it in my bag. Not looking at it.
Okay. So the eyes, who is gonna attune to those? The glasses things.
I can attune to them
All right, let me see here.
if no one else wants to.
What is it?
These are the eyes. Go ahead.
By the way, isn't for attunement you have to spend like an hour playing around with it?
Yeah,
Mhm.
basically.
And you're like exploring and trying to figure out what it does, and popping it against your companions to see if it kills them.
I like
I'm
to
just
think.
calculating how much time Orilyn has with the aboleth before everybody else rejoins her.
I like to think of attunement as like soulbound, right? So like your like magical items bind to your soul, and your soul there's like a maximum number of things that can be bound to at one time. Because the soul
But
is
you
only
can
so strong.
unbind them.
Yeah, you can at will. It's not like they're bound forever or anything. Like you can. It's just like it's old soul magic.
Hmm.
Okay, so they are the eyes of the eagle. These crystal lenses fit over the eyes. While wearing them, you have advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on sight. In conditions of clear visibility, you can make out details of even extremely distant creatures and objects as small as 2 feet across. So, like, literally, you can see like an eagle from forever away. Makes great for scouting, stuff like that. Finding traps.
Cool.
That might be useful for our very mobile monk.
Yep. I mean, you have a literal eagle in the party.
He can't.
He can't see in the dark. That's the problem.
Sure.
Well, he also has a dwarf mask on. I think he wouldn't be able to use that and the
Puts it on
and
over the mask.
And then the potion would just be revealed, right?
I don't know how those work. I don't know.
I mean, I think
You could just have somebody roll an Arcana roll or something.
Yeah, okay.
I made my players taste it, but that can go badly sometimes.
Make an Arcana roll, I guess, somebody. Or if you want to taste it, you can. Whichever. Whoever's spending time with it can either make an Arcana.
If it's Vash, he has to taste it. If it's anybody else, it's Arcana.
So, Orilyn, did you sit with the glasses?
I saw a player taste a potion one time, and they permanently turned into a tree. So,
all right, I'll taste
Nice.
I want to be a tree.
Forever. That's how they died. All right.
So, who's attuning all these items then? I did the staff, but I thought we were all choosing one and like sitting with it.
Odayn did the eagle. The eagle eyes.
Oh, okay. Odayn did the eagle. Okay.
The potion. I mean, once I tell you what it does, you're gonna know who you want to attune to it.
Is dead, so
Wait,
he can't.
the potion's an attunement?
Well, you know what I mean. Like to understand. I guess it doesn't matter. The potion is a potion of cloud giant strength. That is what it is.
Can we please not give that to Seraphina?
And you found a bunch of gold. So at some point, I'm sure you guys are starting to wonder how you're going to get all the gold out of here, right? So during the conversation, Ishu says, I got an idea how we get all this treasure out.
What's your idea, Ishu?
This dimension door, probably.
Well, I found this thing back in the tunnel. He pulls out this. He reaches in his pockets and he pulls out this ivory statue of an elephant.
Oh.
And
marble elephant.
It's magic, right? I think I get how this works. And he I think there's a command word, right?
Oh,
usually,
no.
yeah.
And he says, we just say the magic word, and it turns into a real elephant, and we just burden it up with all of our stuff, and we take it out of here.
That's a pretty good idea.
Can carry more than us, I think.
Unless I turn you into an elephant.
Don't turn me into an elephant. The monkey thing was weird enough.
Oh, I thought you enjoyed that. All right.
I mean, it was fun, I guess. Nice to be big and smash things, you know? Yeah, cat can be used. It can become an elephant for up to 24 hours. And can't be used again until 7 days have passed.
Cool.
So that's kind of neat.
That's very cool.
So now he has like a we have a kobold that has like a gaja, like a big beautiful elephant thing. I mean, I guess it's all you guys, but it's in his pocket
He
right
can
now.
ride into town like the hero he is.
Yeah, like Tim said, we're coming full circle.
Picturing that scene from Aladdin where they turn a boo into
Prince
the
Ali.
yeah, Prince Ali. yeah. Oh man.
Oh god.
That's great. Okay, so you guys want to talk to an aboleth, right?
So
Yep.
let's figure this out. If Orilyn is going to talk to it first, then I'll do something else.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't Vash already be doing other stuff because he's doing the attunement and checking to see if stuff's magical and whatnot.
Right. The first hour would be caught up with all that, anyways.
Yeah. So, Orilyn's gonna ask it, so the flesh is your sibling?
Sibling, yes, my sister.
So, you know things like about the worms that, she uses?
Corruption is her domain, yes.
So do you know how to get rid of worms?
Hmm. I'd recommend a powerful priest, perhaps.
Okay, but, do you know how long they take to change you?
It varies. Some
Right, so
wither
nearest-
quicker on the vine.
the nearest priest is a few days away. And when Seraphina did the thing where she put her hands on me, and I don't know what she did, but it felt like it did something, but then it felt worse after.
Right. It resists
So how long
most
do you think I
attempts.
have?
Hard to say for certain, assuming you are not wounded further or fall to some other sickness, perhaps a week. This page you met in Watentam seemed to last about as long.
Oh, you know about that.
It is in your memories,
When did you start eating my memories?
not yours. Your friends have been revealed
Oh,
to
okay.
me.
Well, that's fine then. So you would need a lifetime of memories to bring her back if she can't come back.
It is
Or
not
to give her
guaranteed.
memories back.
The trade is an option. It is a risk. It may not work. But it will be worth trying. Of course, she may regain these memories on her own. After all, she has not died yet. They do not fully belong to anyone but her.
And would I have a chance of getting my memories back if I traded?
Doubtful.
Or is it only powerful people like her?
Well, it depends. Every situation is unique, I suppose. If you seek to trade your memories, I doubt yours would be enough.
Right. I only have 100 forgot how old I made her. Just a second. I only have 124 memories plus a few that I get to see when I trance. So I guess that wouldn't be nearly enough for somebody who lives as long as she does.
One
I
of
think
the
it's one memory per year, but
Yeah.
one of the eyes like flicks over towards Melora, is like watching her carrying on in her ritual. And man, I forgot what I was gonna say. And he says,
These things are better left untested. I do think that perhaps in time, the tide may bring herself back to her as she learns to pick up the pieces.
When you say tide, you mean like water tide? If we took her to the ocean, would she gain them back faster?
I mean, time.
Oh, time. How long do you think that will be?
It is uncertain. I have never attempted it before. There's no way to know. Could be days, months, years, millennia. I do not know.
We might not have months and years. Your sibling seems to be very adamant about taking over everything.
Yes. But there seem to be more gods than just I or her on your side. Fate must have worked together to bring you here. Luck, surely, is on your side, whether you see it or not.
Well,
You are still breathing.
the only two powerful beings I know other than you would be Oberon and her. So
And Oberon is lacking in form currently, and I am little more than a fish in a small pond. We are gods, but not omnipotent. Even this form limits me. Your angel friend must understand. Even an angel of death, whose glory cannot fit into a human vessel. She's weakened by this, I think, the same as I am and this one.
you can't leave yours.
I can find a new form. This is true. But as far as physical forms go, I rather like this one. These old ones were quite beautiful, don't you think? And useful, too.
Orilyn squints when he says beautiful. Right.
My new form would have to be something forgotten. This is the way of things.
I don't think I can help with that because I know a lot. Well, I don't know a lot, but I can't help with because if I know it, then it's not forgotten, right?
Yes, this is the way of things. Has been eons since I walked in a humanoid vessel. 2 arms, 2 legs. Seems so foreign now.
Sorry. I can't really think of anything else to bring up. So if anybody wants to come and interrupt Orilyn's chat.
that was about 5 minutes worth of talking.
Pretend it was longer.
You want to speak to him, Vash?
Go for it.
Oh. Forgotten one. I want to talk about these memories. Do you think you can pass them on?
Pass them on from myself to someone else.
Hmm.
They have.
Do you think can you pass it on to me, some of these memories?
Doesn't quite work that way. They have been consumed already. Part of my being.
Okay, forgotten one. By the way, do you think we're friends? This group that I'm with. Do you think we're capable of defeating your sister? I believe her name was Gloon.
I think that with strong bonds, luck, and a little bit of help, anything is possible. I have seen gods rise and fall. Those that seemed more powerful than Gloom, certainly. It
So
would
will
not
you
be
help us?
surprising.
So will you help us?
That is what I am doing, certainly. By providing Melora to you. I would seek to help in the future, but surely my sister knows of my betrayal already, and I may not last much longer. Her eyes watch us even now.
Since you obviously lived a long time, do you think you know how to help Oberon?
Hmm.
She holds up the
These-
orb again so it can see.
These orbs, you see, gods do not have souls like mortals, but can still be reincarnated in a way. These orbs are how they do this, how they accomplish that task. Lock away
How does it work?
their essence, an object, something that they hold dear, perhaps exchange it to another. With Oberon, I think it is possible. It needs to be planted like a seed. Distant
Orilyn
family.
immediately walks off with the orb and looks for a dirt area to plant it.
You're just gonna plant this thing in the
Okay.
ground. Okay. Yeah. I think you just like get up and start to walk off.
Perhaps the seed would need to be watered first. Maybe that is why he sent you to her.
Oh, right. I guess I should wait for her to get her memories back. She'll sit back down.
The ritual could be different for depending on the god. I was not particularly close to Oberon before he fled, so I would not know his particular ritual.
Wait, you could do it if you knew it.
He said like the ritual varies depending on the god. I wasn't particularly close to Oberon before he fled, so I wouldn't know the particulars of his ritual, basically.
But is he
Basically.
implying that he could do the ritual if he did know?
If he did, yeah. He probably anybody could. You could do it. Like
Right.
anybody could do
Oh.
it if they knew.
Knowledge is power.
So if I told you all about Oberon, would you be able to get an idea of the ritual?
I suspect that he kept it close. Didn't give out the particulars to others. Could be exploited as a weakness. Gods would tend to hide these things.
Like, Orilyn's gonna sit back and just sit in silence and think. on if she could think of what the ritual could be.
Forgotten one. How do you make children? How do you produce offspring?
Produce offspring.
Mm-hmm.
Is different for a god. We were created in thought and form. When someone dreamt of the idea of fire, fire was born. In those first moments of creation, when the world was still formless chaos, the time before mortals, gods were created on a whim and snuffed out the same. This is how we procreated. We exist first as an idea, then take form from there. Gods are empowered by believers to help them take form. This was the way of things in the dawn of creation. It does not work the same with humans. I believe the process of siring children is less complex, but perhaps easier. When the first creature held the capacity for memory, I took form. When the first creature held the capacity for a flesh, for the body, my sister took form. Understand?
Nice.
Curious.
This is Seraphina he's speaking with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Has been a long time since I've forgotten an angel. I was curious how many yet remain.
There's been a few angels still in the heavens. But if you're more curious, we can go over there. I point over there.
What do you mean? Like walk over here so we can talk in private kind of thing?
Yeah, or if you want to see what an angel looks like.
He
Don't think he's that dumb.
Oh, is she gonna show off her wings again?
Probably gonna try and smite him.
I have looked
Do
upon
it before
angels
Vash
in,
gets to talk.
I have looked upon angels in the light of the fountain. I have seen your true form. There is no need for this.
Yeah, that's true.
Your
This isn't
vessel.
my room.
Go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead. My bad. I'll keep
Oh,
interrupting you.
Well, sorry. This isn't my true form. I think he knew, right, that I'm on a human form right now, because he went inside my head or something.
Yeah, he's kind of been like reading everyone's minds a little bit that he can. I think except like Orilyn and maybe Ishu. There might be some other people he didn't do it to. Sorry, what was the question? I got whispers, I got stuffs happening. What was the?
Oh,
Lost my train of thought.
I'm done with my question. I'm done with my questions.
He was talking about angels.
Surely you realize this form cannot hold you. You are weaker here. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
What do you plan to do about it?
I came here as an emissary from the heavens. I'm supposed to find primordials and ask them for their assistance against your sister. Well, she's the flesh, you see, and she's corrupting the lands and creating chaos.
You still yet serve them after what they've done. Your loyalty is paramount, I suppose. Surely should be commended.
Mm-hmm. I made an oath, and I've lived for 1,000 years because of it.
And still they forgo the gift of a soul.
By the way, is it just you and your sister? Do you have any other siblings? Mother, father, perhaps?
Closest thing to parents I would have are the thoughts, the minds that gave me form. My sister, I don't know if she would have creators. Seems impossible anything would create something so foul.
I see. And how is Melora looking right now?
Are you asking me or the aboleth?
Oh, I'm asking you.
Because a GM question. Yeah.
I mean, she's still doing the ritual, I guess, right? She had another 4 hours to go, so we might just be like part of the way through that. She certainly looks better than when she passed out, nearly died. But she still seems pretty childlike. Like she's not, she's not really changing or anything.
Okay. Well, I was wondering why you seem to be weak when wasn't it your thoughts that make you strong? Why are you weak right now? Or in a state of weakness?
Most of my strength was used to keep the flesh at bay during these rituals done by the sisters. They call themselves that as a mockery, for they come from my sister.
I see.
I was too weak to hold them back from her. The only option to keep going was to strengthen myself on her memories, on those she hadn't removed already.
Well, do you plan to stay here after we leave, or what's your plan?
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I plan to avoid my sister if I can, but likely this will be futile. I suppose it would be smartest to find another form to take hold, another vessel, perhaps. But to leave this place regardless. Perhaps we meet again, and again I will be able to aid you. suppose you will need all the allies you can against Gloon.
Yes, I do need allies against your sister.
Only family could dislike her as much as I do.
I think I've asked you quite enough questions. Let me rest up for a while.
All
Was
right.
the last thing he said only a family could dislike her as much as I do?
Yeah. I think only
Okay.
he usually said only family could dislike her as much as I do.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is where we get like the sitcom intro of Lexoriga Saggath and Gloon and their like dysfunctional family growing up, you know. And she's just like bringing home dead rabbits you know, she walks in, smears dead rabbit all over the carpet, and the aboleth is like, "Aw, rabbit blood on the carpet again? Oh, I don't want to clean this up."
Well.
And you know, cheesy sitcom music. Who's next up to talk to the aboleth? Or what do you guys want to do?
I have something I want to do while they were talking to the aboleth, but I don't know how you want to handle the timeline crap.
It's
Because
fine.
that might take more than the 15 minutes we have. I don't know.
Okay, why don't you tell me what your idea is, and then we'll figure it out.
Issue.
Oh, yeah, Ishu, yeah. He can go up and talk to him, yeah. Are you wanting to go with him?
No. I want to talk to Issue while they talk to the aboleth. Separate.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I catch up on DMs here.
So, can someone post the name of the guy again? Lexoriga or whatever?
Yeah, let me copy and paste it again.
I forgot to put it in my notes, even though I put it in the chat. Now the chat scrolled too far.
It's yeah.
Thank you, Orilyn.
Lexoriga Saggath. Yeah, sibling of Gloon, sibling of the Silence and the Flesh, the Forgotten One, the Great. He's got a lot of monikers. The Great, Delighted in Darkness, Who Comes in the Night, sibling of the Silence and the Flesh, the Great Witness is another one. Yeah. He's got a bunch of this.
He said the siblings of the silence and the flesh. So that means the silence is another sibling he has.
Sibling of the Silence in the Flesh.
Oh, in the flesh.
Right. So, like, we saw the silence thing in that journal. That was what some people called the flesh. Was the silence?
Gotcha. Yeah. Vash, you can go ahead and do your scene
with Ishu.
With Ishu. I'm honestly getting tired, so I don't know if I can RP properly.
I was going to say, I mean, we only got 15 minutes left, so if you wanted to do something before, that can always wait till next time.
You can go ahead.
All right. Well, I already sent you the message.
Yeah. I'm
and I will. Essentially, the conversation will be in our heads because I'm like listening to their conversation while I'm trying to hold a mental conversation with Ishu, but I'll say it out loud.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. So this is all taking place in their head, but we're gonna speak it out loud.
For the audience.
Yeah.
How are you, Ishu?
Fine, I guess. How are you doing, Vash?
Fine. You mentioned you wanted to speak to me before. You haven't had a chance.
Listen, how does you shoot fire and stuff, right? How does it feel when you do it?
Not sure it feels like anything.
Nothing.
Sometimes
huh?
it feels good. Sometimes it is satisfying. Sometimes it isn't. Depends on what I'm hitting.
Hmm.
When I throw it at Seraphina, it feels great.
Yeah, I bet. Well,
Why? Why do you ask?
it just it seems like I have to be angry for it to work. I thought maybe it was, fire. Maybe I should learn something else.
Well, I certainly think you could if you wanted to. Learn something like what?
I don't know anything, but I don't know. It could just be all my spells. I just don't use other stuff as often. Just seems like it's getting worse, harder to control.
I take it you don't like to be angry.
I didn't say that. It's kind of nice to be blowing up people you don't like. Makes you feel powerful, I guess. In control. But I've been finding myself snapping at Odayn, other people in the party. It's harder to control. Seems to be getting worse.
And you've tried and you can't summon anything if you're not angry. Have you really tried?
I mean, some of the basic stuff comes easy, I guess, but like the big fireball that I've done, some of the bigger stuff, it comes from anger. Have to be angry.
Have you thought that maybe that's because you're destroying things and there's not much other use for a big ball of fire? How about when you teleport away, do you have to be angry for that?
Yeah. It happened then too. Almost lost it on Orilyn after that last one.
I'm constantly restraining myself from losing it on the companions as well. I understand.
Do you have dreams, Vash? You ever dream about anything?
Not like you do.
Wait, what does that mean?
Why do you ask? What are your dreams like, Ishu?
I don't know. Most of my dreams, I'm really big and strong, and everyone bends to my will, and I can fly, and nobody can tell me what to do, and I have all the stuff I want, like put away somewhere, and if anybody tries to mess with me, they get burned. Nobody ever sees them again. I don't know. Just kind of feels important, I guess.
Are you familiar with dragons?
I kind of think they're dicks, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't all be dead.
Are they... What do you know about them?
Nah, not much. I've never seen one. But kobolds are dragons, maybe. I could be a dragon. You don't know.
You could. I think that's my point. But do you want to turn into that?
What do you mean? Like, be super strong? Like, breathe fire and everyone cowers? Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Like, be super powerful. Nobody can tell you what to do.
You may enjoy the power, but wasn't that the exact reason you thought they were dicks?
Yeah, maybe. Well, yeah, kind of that, but also kind of because they're all dead. Like,
Alright.
they probably weren't that strong, right? If they all got killed somehow.
What would you do with your power?
I don't know. Well, I know that if like I wouldn't keep people out of my inns and stuff and stop them from buying food if they were hungry, and probably not. But I also wouldn't let them get close to my shiny stuff either, my gold or anything, you know? Like, I don't know. If I could do anything I wanted, maybe just buy like a nice big place where I could just gather up all my stuff and friends, I guess, if I had any.
Well, you've got some.
Yeah, but you know,
Am I not your friend?
well, you can't always exactly be trusted. No offense. There's something off about you, isn't there, Vash?
Depends on what your point of view is.
But I guess everybody here has got something, right?
All right. To me, it sounds like you're craving respect more than power. Power is your means to respect.
Okay.
But you do have some respect. I respect you, for instance.
What about Elduin? You respect him?
Are you going to tell him if I say no?
Probably not.
No.
Yeah. I figure probably better not to get, too attached to that one. Probably good idea not to become like super great friends or anything.
No, he's got his own agenda, as we all do. But you want to make sure that his agenda doesn't interfere with your own.
Yeah, and he might not be around long,
The same can go for me. Make sure my agenda never overlaps your own.
Is that something you have trouble with, Vash?
Just the nature of the beast.
Right.
Have you thought about where you'd be if we hadn't pulled you out of that cave?
Well, to be honest, I think no kobolds ever lived this long. So I'd probably be dead.
I think you're right.
I don't think we're supposed to live this long.
But that also means you're in uncharted territory. That means that there is no plan for you. You can choose what happens.
Okay.
So you could do anything.
So what do I do if I can do anything? How do I choose?
No one can answer that for you. What do you want? Find a way to get what you want. But make sure what you want is worth it. And if you need help, let me know.
All right. I mean, I guess things are going okay. Most of my friends are still alive. And, treasure is good. I like treasure. Would like to get more of it.
That's a fair statement, and I'll make sure you get your fair share, as always.
Fair enough.
Just stay alive, Don't let these idiots bring you into any shitty situations you can't get out of.
Yeah, okay. I guess. Never mind.
What?
Well, not too long ago, I probably would have risked everything for these guys, but lately, I don't know. Doesn't seem like such a great idea.
Loyalty can be a good thing, but blind faith never is.
Well, yeah, that, and you can probably get stabbed in the back at any moment.
Exactly. And I think we both know who you're talking about.
What are we going to do about that? Seems
Great.
dangerous.
It is. A great lesson in life is observe. Be patient. Wait for your moment.
I don't see there being a moment with that one. Seems like you waiting for that moment, it'll never come.
It may not necessarily be our problem to deal with. We just need to point her in the right direction.
Away from us.
A weapon can be dangerous, but only to the person who isn't wielding it.
You think you can wield that then?
One way to know.
Hmm.
Certainly not going to stand here and wait to see if it stabs me.
I don't know. Vash might be less dangerous to just get away from it. Something like that. I don't think it matters if you're grabbing the sharp end or the blunt end.
And that's why I said you need to figure out what you want. For me, unfortunately, I need these people. And that means that I need to help them where and when I can.
Yeah, they're all right, I guess.
They're decent enough as people go. They're not as intelligent as I'd prefer, but they're capable.
Right. Okay. Not intelligent. Got it.
Not referring to you there, Ishu.
No, it's fine. I'm just a kobold. Not supposed to be smart. Crafty. Lucky, maybe? I
Say
don't know.
lucky is fair, but I
Kobolds.
trust your judgment over most of theirs.
Why is that?
I haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah. All right. Well. Just don't get me stabbed in my sleep, okay?
I always protect you, don't I?
Yeah, I guess. But I think you're probably up to something. Not sure what it is yet.
Of course I am. Weren't you listening?
Yeah, I'm just not that intelligent.
One of these days I'll help you find somewhere to hide all your stuff. Or at least teach you how to find a good spot on your own.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Somewhere where there's not, a bunch of water.
Right.
I don't want to
Are you
end up
good then?
dead at the bottom of some pool like that dick. Gestures towards the skeleton.
We'll do what we can to make sure that never happens to you. Everyone's got to go sometime, as you can see.
Oh,
But-
I think I know what I want.
Okay.
To fly. That would be pretty cool, right? I saw Odayn do that. If I could do that, I don't know, it might be fun.
Out of character. He has wings, doesn't he? He's a winged kobold.
No.
Oh, wasn't he?
No, I don't think he ever had wings.
Oh, okay.
He has a tail.
I think you were. Oh, I just got something.
You
in
fought
my
some
throat.
winged ones, but
I think you were thinking of the kobold that was in your campaign, Vash.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the one that Teus
Fair enough.
and Wuhan worship now.
Right. I'm sure that can be figured out. It's not my sort of magic. I could always turn you into something that can fly, but maybe you speak to Odayn. He seems the least crazy of the bunch.
I don't know. It'd be nice to figure out how to do it. I'm not sure how I would, but not too long ago I couldn't teleport either. So
Exactly. You think you're not smart, but I think you're wrong.
no, it comes naturally. Really, it's not a smart thing. It's like breathing. You don't think about it. It just you just know how to do it.
I can understand that. Well, if I ever can help, I will.
Fair enough. What do you need
And
help with?
Just keep doing what you're doing and helping me keep these idiots alive. And yourself as well.
Wait, so you actually want to keep them alive?
I said I needed them, didn't I?
What for?
Eventually. Eventually, I can tell you that.
Right.
You don't have to trust me. That's fine.
No, it's just you're being cryptic. Eventually, I can tell you that. It's kind of weird thing to say, don't you think?
It is, but that's just how it is for now.
All right. Well, eventually, I'll tell you how to throw a giant fireball. I can tell by the way you look at them that you're jealous.
I'm not jealous per se. Yeah, all right, I'm a little jealous.
Yeah, you're jealous. This guy get really mad.
Mad.
Like
I
angry.
get frustrated, but it's hard to be angry.
Well, it's gotta you gotta be like angry with purpose. Like it has to come from deep down in there somewhere,
I harness my anger in a different way than you do, and I'll gesture at the wildfire spirit.
I'm not so sure that's anger.
That's something.
It is something, I guess. It's pretty cool. I mean, it can fly, right?
That can fly.
That's pretty cool.
Maybe one day it'll be big enough to carry you.
Yeah, maybe. Take everybody take 3 XP for RP and 3 XP for the combat, I guess. It's long overdue. 6 XP. I'll
Alright.
start remembering to hand that stuff out.
That's the first day.
And I mean, you all kind of got a secret Earth 2 out of the aboleth that's talked to him so far, so everybody can take another 2 XP for that.
Just wait until I talk to him.
And yeah, okay. And everybody take another 3 XP for personal goals. All right. Now, continue.
Okay.
That was bothering me. I realized I forgot.
So are you good for now, Ishu? No, you're all right.
I guess. I'm just worried it's gonna get. I don't know. I'm gonna snap on somebody. I guess.
Do you want me to watch you and tell you when you're going too far?
Yeah, that might be helpful. And I mean, if it gets really bad, well, I don't know. If it gets really bad, just make sure you stop me. All right.
If I can, or if I don't agree with you, but you do realize that means you'd have to trust my judgment.
Good point. Maybe I should talk to Odayn.
That's what you feel like you should do.
I guess I don't really have a reason to not trust your judgment.
Not yet. I don't think I've done anything to earn that.
All right. Fair enough. Just, don't let me go too far,
Right, stop you before they're smoldering ashes. Got it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, unless they're, jerks that should be smoldering ashes.
Okay, so that really only saves Odayn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right.
I think I understand.
Good.
If I see you out of control, I'll do what I can. Just remember,
Okay.
you wanted to be a hero at one point, so
Yeah, well, I don't know. Being a hero seems like a lot of work, and I don't know. I just thought there'd be more like people being appreciative of you being a hero, but it seems like they treat you like crap regardless.
I don't want to say it, but I could have told you that's how that would go. Just because of what you look like, you'll never be respected by most. You're
Yeah.
different. People don't like different.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping people would, but you're probably right.
But that doesn't mean you have to stop trying. And if you incinerate a few idiots, that's fine too.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have to like you if they're afraid of you, right?
That is true. It all ends up the same way in the end.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
All right then. Can't wait to see your little elephant come out. Don't
Yeah.
do that inside the cave though.
Uh,
'Cause
yeah, it might not be able to fit through the halls and stuff, right?
see, I didn't even have to explain it to you. That's how I know you're intelligent.
Cool. So we're still gonna have to haul all this stuff out of here then.
Yeah, maybe we'll make
Make a couple trips or
Someone.
something.
do it. Yeah. We're not in a rush now. Everything's dead, including the children.
Yeah, it tends to happen a lot around us, huh?
Yeah. I'm not sure if you caught on, but I'm pretty sure those goblins were the children. So you've definitely incinerated a few.
Yeah, I figured that. I mean, there was no saving them really though, right? Like they were attacking us. I didn't self-defense, right?
Sure, I didn't say it was a bad thing.
I mean, it kind of sucks that they were kids.
I think you want to eat kids before.
I thought he had a thing against eating kids, but he was
Oh,
eating.
he did. That's why he felt different than the others.
Yeah,
That's
but he was like eating people like crazy, but just not
Right.
kids. Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to talk to the aboleth about? Not the aboleth, the thing, the creature.
I don't know. Seems weird. I guess I could ask him about dragons or something.
All right, we'll go and speak to him at the same time. How about that?
Sure, you first.
That's it.
All right. So you guys gonna go talk to him?
I think Odayn would probably like to go to sleep.
Oh yeah. It's 11:12. All right.
Yes,
I would love
please.
to, but yeah, I'll have to next time.
Sorry, I've already dozing off a little bit.
It's all good. Well, I thought we might get a little bit further today. Turns out we all settled into the RP.
Finally.
Yeah. So I don't know. I thought we were gonna go to B team next week, but I think we might have one more week at this at
Ooh.
least.
Yes, please.
So yeah, but we still might be leaving off on a cliffhanger. How long has it been since the fight ended? Are we at the 7-hour mark now? Are we gonna go ahead and go through that 4-hour period of Melora getting her shawl and all that?
I kind of wanted to get the talking to the Aboleth out before she does her thing. 'Cause
Okay.
we don't know how that's going to go.
All right. Well, okay. In the couple hours that have passed, Orilyn, you have started to develop a fever
Oh no.
a bit. You're sweating. Your skin's probably gotten a little paler. No like other consequences, no mechanical consequences yet, but we'll probably see that at the end of the 7-8 hour conversation next time.
Okay.
Has Orilyn ever been sick
And then
before?
Orilyn can.
I don't know. Do Eladrin get sick? Is that a thing that happens?
I think they can get sick. I mean,
Okay.
my Fey ancestry only protects me from charm stuff, and sleep. I don't see anything about like if I can get sick or not.
Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. There's a lot of stuff going on that will be interesting. Very interesting, and I'm just gonna keep saying interesting, because
That's interesting.
yeah, it brings me less anxiety. Okay. Well, hope you guys
That
had
was fun, guys.
Yeah, I hope you guys had fun today. I had fun this week, and we'll be back next Monday. Is everybody on for next Monday?
Mhm.
Yep.
All right. Cool.
Cheating life makes it easy.
Good session, everyone.
Yeah, great
Good
session.
night, guys.
Thanks for playing, guys. Thanks for watching stream. Y'all have a great week, and we'll be back next Monday.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks,
And
everyone.
hopefully I'll be awake by then.
All right. Same. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great week.
Me
See
too.
ya.
See ya.
Night.
If you enjoy the video, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe.